Welcome to my Me Time Monday wellness hack on the science of sleep and daydreams to build physical and mental health. This is a Me Time Monday wellness hack, which is part of our self-care in 7 minutes video series. I'm Sherri, gerontologist, author of Me Time Monday, and CEO of the Caregiving Club. CDC data shows 30% of Americans don't get enough sleep, which is defined as 7 to 8 hours of restorative, uninterrupted sleep. Other studies show caregivers suffer from poor sleep health, with 78% experiencing insomnia, lack of sleep, and numerous awakenings during the night. We've become a 24/7 visually alert world, and all this technology is not letting our bodies recharge at night. Over the last 100 years, we are getting 2 hours less sleep a night, which plays a role in the national increase in obesity, cardiovascular disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, depression, and anxiety. When it comes to sleep, we have to think of our bodies like our smartphones. We need to recharge our phones every night so the next morning it has enough battery power to make it through another day. If we don't recharge the phone, the battery dies and the phone will not work. Our bodies are the same. We need to recharge in order to keep going day after day, both in body and in mind. Now, sleep is essentially when the body goes to bed, the brain goes to work. I call this the neuroregenerative night shift. The brain clears toxins and debris during sleep through its cycles of REM or non-REM or NREM sleep cycles. Think of the brain and sleep like washing clothes. The brain needs 4 cycles to completely clear the brain of the day's interactions. Now, REM sleep or deep sleep happens every 90 minutes. This is when our bodies experience temporary muscle paralysis. Meanwhile, our brains are modulating the day's emotions and rebuilding muscles and cells. And then non-REM happens at least 3 times a night and lasts about 5 or 15 minutes each. This is when we have a lower heart rate, lower body temp, and the third cycle lasts the longest. That's about 40 minutes, and this is when our brains are doing a deep cleaning cycle. Now, when we don't get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, we rob the brain of its ability to have enough cleaning cycles. This results in a release of cortisol, which is our stress hormone, and that creates the chronic stress that interferes with REM brain synapses in the hippocampus, which is the area of the brain that stores memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which is the area of the brain that has behavior and decision-making capabilities. And this can lead to numerous health issues. Now, people who get 5.5 hours or so of sleep per night feel groggy, less alert, and able to focus the next morning. One study found 5.5 hours of sleep is the equivalent of having a 0.05 blood alcohol level the next morning. Now, first hack for getting better sleep is simple. Routine is key. You cannot get 5 hours one night and expect to make up for it over the weekend. In fact, going to bed and waking at the same time every day, even on weekends or vacations, is essential to maintaining your circadian rhythms, which is your body's internal clock that regulates your 24/7 sleep cycle. This is called sleep regularity, and some sleep experts believe these routines are as important as the number of hours of sleep that you get. When it comes to older adults and those with dementia, routines are even more critical for the regenerative energy and calm gained from consistent sleep routines, since they have disrupted circadian rhythms. Women are also, who are going through menopause, may also struggle to get good sleep. Postmenopausal women are 2 to 3 times more likely to have sleep apnea compared with premenopausal women. Exercise and acupuncture can help, but be aware, hormone replacement therapy has not been known to improve sleep. Now, when it comes to getting sound sleep, we think of silence, but actually, our brains are sometimes anxious when there is too much silence, and it is sounds that can help us get into a restful state. So our second sleep hack is to use pink noise. Now, most people have heard of white noise to help you drift off, but actually, pink noise may be more advantageous for sleep and is shown to help calm our bodies and allow us to remain in a safe, anxiety-free state of slumber. There are actually three main color sounds or sonic hues when it comes to the sounds of sleep, and those are white, brown, and pink noise. Now, white noise, which is more like the whir of an air conditioning unit, a fan, or the static on a television set, this remains the same tone consistently, and it can help some people block out disruptive sounds, particularly if you live in a busy area or in an apartment where there's a lot of street sounds at night. Brown noise is actually a little bit more alarming and can increase anxiety. You think of things like thunder and roaring waterfalls. That's the kind of sounds that you're going to get from brown noise. Now, pink noise is the closest to simulating nature sounds. Pink noise is like soft rustling leaves, small lapping waves on the ocean and on the sand, soft falling raindrops, or even a human heartbeat. It is because pink noise is so closely tied to nature sounds that many scientists believe it is the best sonic cue to help us get into a restful sleep and then keep us in that deep sleep or REM sleep, which is critical for supporting physical and mental health. In a small 2012 study in the Journal of Theoretical Biology, and then again in a larger 2017 study in the Frontiers of Neuroscience, researchers found that steady pink noise reduces brain waves, which increases stable sleep. It is the best sonic cue soundscape for newborns, older adults, and anyone with tinnitus or tinnitus. You can find a lot of pink noise sleep apps or on many nighttime sleep machines. Now, blue light simulates sunlight, and if we bring blue light emissions into the bedroom, whether it is doom scrolling social media, catching up on email, or a favorite TV show, or even reading a book with a bedside light, all of these technology products emit blue light that disrupts our circadian rhythms of light and dark cycles. Studies show there is also a latency period where once you turn off the blue light, it can take up to 1 to 2 hours where the body struggles to adapt to get into good restorative sleep. And while night lights help you not trip on your way to the bathroom at night, most use blue light, which will instantly awaken your brain and make it harder to get back into your sleep cycles. So our third hack is to use red, orange, or amber nightlights. These lights illuminate the walking area to avoid tripping over something if you have to get up at night, but it will not awaken the brain as it simulates firelight or dusk and the brain stays in slumber mode. Now, in addition to good sleep habits, daydreaming can be a way to build your mental health and resiliency to difficult life challenges. When we think of daydreaming, we think of a few fleeting seconds when we see ourselves as a rock star in front of thousands of screaming fans, or winning the lottery, or sailing the world on a beautiful yacht, or taking the podium to receive our Olympic gold medal. Not all daydreams are fantasies. Sometimes they are ways to discover our own superpowers to overcome everyday obstacles of life. While we think of daydream moments, in fact, studies have shown that daydreams actually occupy 1/3 to up to 1/2 of all of our waking hours. So don't confuse daydreams from the dreams we have during sleep. They are very different. Our dreams while we sleep often are confusing and have us jumping from one bizarre or unexplainable scene to the next. Night dreaming tends to not be logical or rational because they come from our subconscious mind, and thus they should not really be interpreted literally. Daydreams, on the other hand, are empowering because they are 100% of our own making. They also increase our creativity and problem-solving skills, improve our sense of self-identity and resiliency, and make us more empathetic and flexible in our thinking. Now, daydreams are like movies in our minds where we are the actor, director, producer, screenwriter, and audience all in one. And in fact, the same kind of creativity that goes into movie making is at work when we daydream. We are thinking for pleasure similar to when we escape into a theater to watch a movie. Similar to the scene in the classic movie The Wizard of Oz, our night dreaming can sometimes be in black and white, but our daydreams are almost all in Technicolor. Psychologists believe this is because we are emotionally invested in our daydreams, experiencing them firsthand, whereas in night dreaming, we are an observer and often emotionally distant from what is happening. The other reason daydreaming makes us feel more alive is that it is a multisensory experience, meaning we're engaging all five senses, even if it is coming from memory, and then we're forecasting those thoughts into our future. So smells or tastes or scenes and sounds from our past help create connected memories into our future. Therefore, our daydreams become a well-known escape from the routine of everyday life. Clears out the clutter in our brains in a similar way that night dreaming helps clear the toxins and modulates the emotions of our day. The trick is to not get lost in our daydreams or have them derail our daily activities to an extent that all we are doing is mindless wandering. Scientists have tracked daydreaming in several studies and found that not only does the content of our daydreams matter, but we need to be free-moving to avoid ruminating that causes negative effects such as depression or increased anxiety. When we free move, our minds actually typically go to a playful or positive fantasy life that can boost our mood. It also allows us to not be anchored in our past, but to float freely into a future of more happiness and hopefulness. Now, neuroscientists believe that since daydreams involve both our past or current lives with our fantasy future lives, the brain is performing complex thinking. Thus, daydreams become another way to increase our neuroplasticity and improve our brain health. Up until a few years ago, scientists did not think we could regenerate the cells in our brains, but now neuroplasticity is used in breakthrough therapeutics in areas such as spinal cord injury, paraplegia, stroke patients, and with other disabling physical issues to build new neural pathways and neuronal cells to overcome physical limitations. In many ways, the ability to daydream has given us evolutionary adaptive value. For caregivers, the ability to use daydreams allows us to creatively think through complex emotional problems without feeling pressured to solve the problems at hand right now. When we allow our brains to rest from the left-sided analytical decision-making area of the brain, and instead we flex the right side of the brain where creativity resides, we are helping ourselves to unplug from current stressors and avoid building up to the point of burnout. Some of the benefits of daydreaming affect several of the 7 elements of wellness I write about in my book, Me Time Monday. This includes the emotional, intellectual, and social wellness aspects of life. Studies have shown daydreaming builds a sense of identity and helps with resiliency. This is because you're combining memories of your past or current life with your fantasy future life, and thus you're creating a pathway to build a better you. Other studies have found we become more flexible and maybe more empathetic because we daydream about alternative scenarios. By looking at alternative solutions or other ways of doing things, we foster more flexibility in our lives that can help with stress. This also helps us build upon our social capital, which can help make us more successful and happier in our relationships. This is all called elastic thinking, coined by physicist and author Leonard Malodano. Most of the innovators in our world, from Walt Disney to Oprah Winfrey to Elon Musk, use elastic thinking. It requires the person to let go of comfortable ideas and become accustomed to ambiguity and rely on both imagination and logic to generate solutions. And it builds our self-identity, flexibility, and as I said, our social relationships. I call daydreams your mental floss for keeping your mental and emotional health in balance to tackle the tough challenges you face, especially when caring for a loved one. I hope you enjoyed this Me Time Monday wellness hack. Every Monday, I will have a new self-care in 7 minutes video. You can find more information in my book, Me Time Monday, the weekly wellness plan to find balance and joy for a busy life, or visit MeTimeMonday.com or CaregivingClub.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our Caregiving Club YouTube channel to get all the self-care in 7 minutes videos every Monday. Take care and stay well.